What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and at this point, Bud Light is in full damage control mode. Some of the top executives of Bud Light are claiming they had no idea about this Dylan Mulvaney ad campaign. They are saying that they have been blindsided. But personally, I find this kind of funny. This is what they get for hiring woke idiots to run their marketing and ad campaigns. These people come into these businesses and they don't care about making these businesses money. In fact, they will fully tank these businesses to the ground just to promote the message, to spread the agenda. Beer sales mean nothing to these woke freaking idiots. And that has been made clear throughout other businesses who have been ruined by the same type of activist. Now, I'm not going to report on the official number that Bud Light has lost, but it's in the billions. I don't want to report on the official number because then I get comments saying, dude, you're wrong. The numbers are actually higher. This is the actual number. Yeah. It's not my fault that this company is bleeding out money so fast that by the time you watch my videos, they lost another $1 billion than they have lost when I was recording. That's not my fault. So I'm going to shy away from reporting the official numbers here because by the time you all see this video, they will have lost even more money, which is kind of glorious in itself. But I want to dive into the details, and we have some sources speaking out about the situation. But before we do that, I want to clear up some of the confusion when it comes to this controversy. A lot of people seem to think, and trust me, the powers that be want people to think this. They want people to think that this backlash, this pushback, it has to do with a gay person being on a beer can, or it has to do with the LGBTQ in beer, but in reality, it has more to do with who Dylan Mulvaney is. Bud Light and these other beer companies have put out their Pride Month beers for years. I'm sure some people have an issue with it. I'm not here to say that I think it's necessary, but for the most part, you don't really hear much about it. There's not a big stink about it. This pushback that is happening because of this Dylan Mulvaney can, it really has nothing to do with gay people at all. It has something to do with Dylan Mulvaney and the fact that Dylan Mulvaney targets kids. When you look at this person, you wouldn't think that their target demographic is kids, and it's kind of scary thinking that it is, but that is the facts. Dylan Mulvaney does not make content for adults. Dylan Mulvaney makes content for kids who are around the age 12 to 16. The awkward kids. The socially awkward kids. That's who Dylan Mulvaney targets. So people are questioning, why would you choose Dylan Mulvaney as, a brand ambassador? Why would you sponsor Dylan Mulvaney? Considering the fact that Dylan Mulvaney makes videos and content for kids. So they say that they included Dylan Mulvaney in this ad campaign because they wanted to appeal to a younger and a different audience. Who is that audience? You want to appeal to late middle school, high school kids who aren't old enough to drink yet, who are confused about who they are as people? That's who you want to appeal to? So make no mistake about it. They put their foot in their mouth when they said, oh, well, we hired Dylan, we sponsored Dylan because we wanted to promote our beer to his audience. His audience is a bunch of socially awkward teens and preteens. Okay? Adults aren't watching Dylan Mulvaney videos. And when they are, they're watching them to see how grotesque and weird that they are. When adults share Dylan Mulvaney's videos, it's because they're disturbed and they're trying to raise awareness that people like this are on social media trying to indoctrinate kids. So this has nothing to do with Dylan Mulvaney being gay. In fact, I don't think gay people really like Dylan Mulvaney, because Dylan Mulvaney makes a mockery of gay men, and he also makes a mockery of women. And to take it one step further, he kind of makes a mockery of trans people. I encounter trans people all the time in my daily life. I live next to an art school, so I run into quite a few. And I don't think any of them act like the characters of a little girl that Dylan Mulvaney acts like. Dylan Mulvaney acts like a 6-year-old girl and runs around and prances around making videos that would appeal to little kids. It's really weird. But I think that it's important for people to understand that this really has nothing to do with being gay or gay people at all. This has something to do with Dylan Mulvaney specifically, because Dylan Mulvaney is someone that the establishment, that the powers that be chose to try to indoctrinate your kids. This is the face of who they are using to promote this trans agenda. And make no mistake about it, this agenda is not about mental health. It's not about making people feel comfortable. It's not about acceptance. It's about making money for pharmaceutical companies. Cut and dry. You can think it's about acceptance if you want. No, you all are guinea pigs that are being used. You all are lab rats that are being used, and you're being turned into customers, basically. Lifelong customers that will always have to go through treatments, and you'll have to spend countless amounts of dollars on trying to become a person that you will never be. So when it comes to Dylan Mulvaney's sponsorship, that's the issue that people have. But let's go ahead and dive into this article. Top Bud Light execs were blindsided by Dylan Mulvaney ad campaign. Bud Light's controversial marketing deal with trans social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney has ignited speculation that top executives at corporate parent Anheuser-Busch may have been blindsided by the tie-up when it was revealed. No one at a senior level was aware that this was happening, an unnamed source says. Marketing executives at Bud's parent Anheuser-Busch have allegedly paused additional campaigns so they can implement a more robust vetting process for future projects, according to the report. The accuracy of the report, which comes despite the fact that Bud Light has publicly stood behind its partnership with Mulvaney, couldn't immediately be confirmed. Some low-level marketing staffer who helps manage the hundreds of influencer engagements they do must have thought that it was no big deal. The source says, obviously it was. And it's a shame because they have a well-earned reputation for being America's beer, not a political company. The source reportedly added it was a mistake. Alyssa Heinershed, the vice president of marketing, told the Make Yourself at Home podcast last week that she wanted to transform Bud Light's brand. She also condemned the company's previous branding, saying, "We had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out-of-touch humor, and it was really important that we had another approach." Heinersched's comments in partnership with Mulvaney have garnered backlash, with the company remaining quiet while many are protesting Anheuser-Busch's products. Anheuser-Busch works with hundreds of influencers across our brands as one of many ways to authentically connect with audiences across various demographics and passion points. From time to time, we produce unique cans for fans and for brand influencers like Dylan Mulvaney. This can was a gift to celebrate a personal milestone and is not for sale to the general public. Pause. This personal milestone that they're congratulating is Dylan Mulvaney's first year of being a woman. Or in other words, Dylan Mulvaney's first year of putting on little girl makeup and little girl clothes and pretending to be a little girl on TikTok. Dylan Mulvaney does not act like a trans woman. Dylan Mulvaney does not act like a woman at all. Dylan Mulvaney pretends to be a little girl and is making millions upon millions of dollars doing so. And Bud Light decided, hey, we are so proud of you pretending to be a woman for over a year. We are so proud that you have used your influence and your platforms to try to indoctrinate little kids that we're going to give you your own beer can. All of the women watching this video have been a woman for more than 365 days, right? I would assume that everyone watching this video is over the age of 1 year old. I would assume that every woman watching this video has been a woman for more than 365 days. You are not getting any congratulations. These companies are not sending you beer cans with your face on the side of them. This is a slap in the face to all women. It shows you that they will congratulate men. They will reward men for being women before they will reward women for being women. What type of twisted, sick world do we live in? But let's go forward. Mulvaney, a TikTok star with more than 10 million followers, posted a video promoting the brand's March Madness contest, offering customers a chance to win $15,000. In the Instagram footage, the content creator is dressed like Audrey Hepburn's character in Breakfast at Tiffany's as she cracks open a Bud Light can and takes a sip. This month, I celebrated my 365 days of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. So, what we're seeing here is we're seeing these top executives, they're scrambling. They don't know what to do because these people are largely out of touch with a lot of what goes on in their business. They hire these young activists and they come in and they tear these companies apart. But make no mistake about it. I don't think that we should let Bud Light off the hook because some people in their company are like, oh, we don't know what's going on. How could this have happened? And then other people in their company are like, yeah, this is what we're doing. We're standing by it. We're going to give beer cans to every trans man and woman that we want. And it's like, dude, I don't care. Obviously, what's happening here is they want their cake and they want to have their cake and eat it too. So at the same time, they're trying to tell angry people that, hey, listen, we don't know what's going on. This is a mistake. We don't know why they made this decision. Then they're telling the other crowd that they're trying to appease, hey, we're standing by Dylan Mulvaney, okay? It's important that we get our beer advertised in front of Dylan's TikTok followers who are all kids that aren't old enough to drink beer. So, in my opinion, in trying to defend their actions, they made things even worse. Not only did you sponsor this freaking creepy weirdo that preys on little kids, that pretends to be a little girl. You sponsored that. Out of every person in the world, you looked at Dylan Mulvaney and was like, yeah, I like what they're doing. I like that they're telling 6-year-olds that they can be a different gender. I like that they're telling little kids about sex changes. I think we need to make them the new sponsor of Bud Light. Y'all made that conscious decision. And then when defending yourself, you're like, hey, we wanted to reach a new audience. We're sorry. We're sorry we sponsored Dylan. We wanted to reach Dylan's followers. We wanted to bring in a new demographic. A new demographic of who? Of kids? So you basically acknowledged what all of this is about. Not only did you want to sponsor a degenerate freak like Dylan Mulvaney, you wanted to target Dylan Mulvaney's fan base and you wanted to advertise your beer to them. And Dylan Mulvaney's fan base just so happens to be little kids. This is like looking at Barney or Sesame Street and like, hey, we want Barney, We want Sesame Street. We want Blue's Clues. We want Baby Shark to be sponsors for Bud Light. It's the same thing, because Dylan Mulvaney is trying to reach those same demographics with his videos. Running beer ads for Dylan Mulvaney's followers is like running beer ads on Nick Jr. or on Disney's Playhouse. I kid you not. Dylan Mulvaney's followers are all little freaking kids that he targets with his weird videos, trying to confuse them. So, at first I was like, listen, I don't get into all of the boycott stuff. I don't drink Bud Light anyway, so it's not going to affect me. I don't think it's necessary to go out here and blow up beer cans with AK-47s. But if that's your thing, do it. But now that they kind of let me know where they were coming from, now I do feel like, yeah, I don't think anyone should be drinking Bud Light. Because Bud Light, let it be known that they wanted to sponsor someone who grooms little kids. And they let it be known that they wanted access to that person's followers, which are all little kids. So they blatantly are doing this out in the open. They want to teach your kids about all of this weird sexual stuff, and they want them to drink Bud Light while doing so. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. And always remember, remain opinionated.